Derek had been mopping the observation deck of Starbase 7 for 3 years without incident. He was good at what he did, efficient, quiet, invisible in the way maintenance workers often became. He didn't interact much with the researchers, the pilots, or the diplomatic staff. He simply cleaned spaces after they'd left them, restoring order to chaos. So when the Zeth child appeared in the corridor at 0300 hours, crying so hard her bioluminescent skin flickered erratically, Derek almost didn't know what to do. She was small, maybe 6 or 7 years old by human standards, though Derek knew that meant something different for alien species. Her skin was a deep violet with patches of darker indigo, and tears, actual tears which surprised him, streamed down her face. She was alone, clearly lost, and absolutely inconsolable. Derek set down his mop. "Hey," he said gently. "Are you okay?" The child wailed louder. She didn't seem to understand his words, or she didn't care. She just kept crying, her small four-fingered hands covering her face. Derek looked around the empty corridor. He should call security. Should get someone in an official position to help. But something about her distress made him pause. She was frightened, yes, but also exhausted. She'd been crying for a while. He thought of his own daughter, 23 now, living on a colony light years away, and how he used to comfort her when she was small. How the simplest things sometimes worked better than any logical explanation. Derek pulled off his work glove. He was no artist, but he'd spent years helping his daughter with homework. His marker selection was limited. All he had was a black pen he used to label contaminated waste bins. He drew 2 dots on the glove's palm, then a curved line beneath them, a smiley face. "Look," he said softly, holding up his hand. "Happy glove." The alien child's wailing stuttered. She looked at the crude, smiley face through her tears, and something shifted in her expression. It wasn't quite understanding, but it was attention. Derek moved the glove back and forth like it was waving. He made it bounce. He drew another smiley face on his other glove and had them talk to each other with exaggerated gestures. He was being ridiculous, and he knew it, but something in the child's flickering bioluminescence suggested she was starting to calm down. He sat down on the floor beside her, cross-legged, and continued his silly show. The 2 gloves danced. He made beeping sounds and clicking noises. One glove pretended to trip, the other one helped it up. It was the kind of thing you do for a small child, timeless and universal across species apparently. The alien girl made a sound, not quite a laugh, but close. Her tears slowed. Derek kept going. He added more facial features to the gloves, turning them into characters. He told a very simple story with exaggerated movements. 2 friends going on an adventure, getting lost, helping each other find their way home. He didn't know if she understood a single word, but he could see her following the narrative through the glove movements. By the time security arrived, called by Derek after the girl had calmed enough for him to request help, she was sitting quietly beside him, her bioluminescence steady and soft. She was still watching the gloves. The security officer, a veteran named Kowalski, stopped short. "What in the world?" "Lost kid," Derek said simply, standing up and offering the girl his hand. Been trying to keep her calm. But when Derek tried to move away, the girl grabbed his hand tightly. She made a soft chittering sound and pointed at his gloves, still adorned with their smiley faces. "I think she wants them," Kowalski said, and there was something almost like wonder in her voice. Derek looked down at the small alien hand gripping his, and at the hopeful expression on the child's face. He pulled off both gloves and placed them gently in her smaller hands. She held them like they were made of crystal, clutching them to her chest. It took 2 hours to find her parents, Zeth diplomats attending a conference on the upper levels who had no idea their daughter had slipped away from her quarters. When her mother arrived, frantic with worry, the girl was still holding Derek's gloves, still calmer than she'd been in hours. The mother looked at Derek, then at the gloves, then at her daughter's peaceful expression. "What did you do?" she asked. "Just drew some faces," Derek said, suddenly embarrassed. Made her feel less alone. The Zeth diplomat stared at him for a long moment. Then she did something Derek didn't expect. She inclined her head in what looked like profound respect. "You showed my daughter kindness," she said formally. "In my culture, That debt is significant. If you ever need anything, you need only ask. Derek nodded awkwardly, unsure what to say. He was just a janitor who'd drawn smiley faces on his work gloves. But as he watched the girl leave, still clutching his gloves and occasionally glancing back with something almost like a smile, Derek realized something important. Sometimes the most powerful tools for healing weren't technology or medicine or diplomacy. Sometimes they were just two dots, a curved line, and the willingness to sit with someone in their pain until they were ready to smile again.